Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today we're in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and today we're going to be doing a long-haul flight with a new aircraft on the channel. Haven't made a video on this aircraft just yet. Love this airplane, and we're going to be flying the IniBuilds A330-300 with the General Electric engines as the retro Aer Lingus livery from Dublin International across the Atlantic to Boston. It's about a 6.5 hour flight. Hopefully the winds are in our favor. Dublin weather is awful at the moment, as you guys can see, but hopefully Boston will be a little bit better. We'll hop in the flight deck here and get some things started. We got the APU started, close up the doors, and take a look at our weights, and then we are ready to go. All right, so we're in the flight deck here now. You could probably hear all the rain hitting the aircraft, which is pretty cool. Everything's pretty much ready to go. We do need to set our altimeters. All right, so altimeters are set. We're gonna look up top here and start that APU. Now we have to make sure that this is on APU page. Wait for it to say flap open, and then we'll start the APU. And while we're doing that, we'll look over some weights and get the jetway gone and close up our doors and get ready for pushback. All right, flap is open. We'll take a look up top, start that APU, and APU bleed is also on. While that's starting up, we can close our main door here. And then we'll get rid of the jet bridge, which is pretty loud with a beeping sound. All right, jet bridge is gone. All doors are closed and locked. Looking at our weights, we got 96.3 thousand pounds of fuel on board this flight. What else? ZFW's 325. And our gross weight is 421. So everything's looking good there. Heavy flight, we got 239 passengers on board, so it's pretty much a full, almost a full flight. Making our way over to Boston. So everything's looking good there. We can go back to our ground page, all good there. APU is up and running. So that's good. We can turn off our exterior powers, turn on our beacon light, and we'll get our exterior power gone, the GPU gone. All right, so all doors are closed and locked, good. Ground equipment all removed, good there. We will go back to our dashboard, and now we'll call up pushback because we got our beacon light on up here. Yep, beacon light's on, so we'll call up pushback here and get on out of here. All right, parking brake release. Engine switch over, and all looks good there. We also will get our engine page on, and we'll start engine 1 here. Engine 1 slowly starts as we get our pushback. All right, and now we will start engine 2. Engine 2 also started up. Engines are running, so we can also turn off the APU up top. So APU and APU bleed and everything off up top. All that looks good. Flip this back to normal on the APU switch, and we'll wait for the ground to disconnect. All right, and we'll get our flaps 1 in now. All right, we'll do a flight control test. We'll go flight controls, and we'll go left aileron, right aileron, pull down, pull up, left rudder, and right rudder. All controls look free. Flaps have been set. We'll make sure we monitor that APU turning down. We can arm the speed brake, turn on our taxi light, and also arm our RTO. And we will get ready for taxi. So yeah, this aircraft, I've been becoming a fan of it. And IniBuilds 340 comes out soon, which the IniBuilds 340 has the same type of like cockpit look. So that's gonna be pretty cool. But yeah, I'm a big fan of this airplane, and I wanted to fly and make a video on it. Why not? Stay tuned. We will be doing some 340 ops, mainly Lufthansa, maybe some Edelweiss or Edelweiss, however you pronounce it. We're gonna taxi to the runway 28 right. Yeah, 28 right, and fly to this miserable weather here in Dublin. Alright, so we're going to be coming up to the runway here shortly, so we'll do a takeoff config test. If it wants to work. It should be all green. Everything's green there, so takeoff config's good. We'll take a look at our machine down here. Make sure that stuff's on. Alright, so we'll take a look up top. We'll turn our taxi light to takeoff as well. Landing lights on, wing light on, strobe light on, runway turnoffs. In the cabin, all lights are on up top, everything looks good. Flaps are 1+F. Speed brake is armed, auto brakes are on RTO. We are good to go for the takeoff here, guys. Enjoy the takeoff. This is going to be pretty cool with these engines. Hey, I got control. Everything looks good. Okay, let's line up on the runway here. A bit of a crosswind as well. There will go some power. Nose down. Man, flex 53 SRS runway, auto thrusts blue. Alright, we're good. We got nose down pressure. We're gonna be very heavy. Hopefully we make it to the end and take off. 80 knots neutral on the stick. Gotta fight that crosswind. We're gonna make it to the end here. V1. Rotate. Right on the end of the runway. Holy shit. Positive rate. Gear coming up. We took up the whole length of that runway. Oh my god. We literally took up the whole length of that runway, the departure. That's crazy. But we're out, watching the MFD. And follow our flight plan. Okay, gear is up, confirmed by that ping. And leveler climb, throttle climb power. We're still hand flying this plane. They're gonna throw autopilot on now. Autopilot engage. There we go. Flaps can come up. Flaps up 0 degrees. Speed brake. Disarm. We are on the climb out. Very rainy Dublin, but we're on the climb out, making our way out. Hopefully we'll break through the clouds eventually, but that was a very crazy takeoff. Holy shit. That was a full-length takeoff. We used the whole runway. Every single bit of that runway was used to take off, and we used every inch of that runway. That was a full-length takeoff. That was I've never done something like that before. But we're out. Nothing bad. And we're on the climb out, making our way up to 10,000 feet to do some checks, landing lights off at that point, and then we'll continue up to our cruise of flight level 380. All right, we are now above 10,000 feet, so we'll take a look up top here. We will turn off our nose light, landing lights, wing light, runway turnoffs, and that's it. Wing, runway turnoff, landing light, and nose lights are all off. Seatbelt sign we're going to keep on until we're probably above 20,000 maybe. Hopefully when we're above the clouds, so we'll see. But I'm going to keep the seatbelt sign on just for now. Everything up top looks good. And we will continue our climb out here up to our cruise altitude of flight level 380. All right, we are coming up to our cruise altitude of flight level 380. Finally. Now, we do have our engine anti-ice on, as well as our wing anti-ice, because the aircraft did detect some ice buildup. I don't know if we're going to be able to see it on the wings. We'll take a look here shortly. But now that we're coming up to 380, I'm going to turn off the seatbelt sign because it's a calm flight. Seatbelt sign off. Everything else looks good. It says our destination fuel is below. It's actually not. This is just a glitch in the game. Pretty much, I don't know why, but almost every aircraft says they're below their estimated fuel on board by the time they land. But by the time the aircraft lands, we're actually not even close to this. So it's just a glitch in the game, but it's fine. Everything's looking good right now. We're going to continue on at our flight level 380. We can also turn off our weather radar. We don't need that on right now. Can turn that off. We don't need it on. Anyways, we are now at our cruise altitude, flight level 380, so it's going to continue at 380 and make our way towards Boston out of Dublin here. Everything's looking good, but yeah, everything's looking pretty good. Flight time's looking good, and we'll continue on our way. Now, if I look at Volanta, 6 hours and 47 minutes remaining. They're looking at about 6 to 6:30 p.m. should be our arrival into Boston. 6:30 like Pacific time, my time. Everything's looking good though. We're going to stay at flight level 380 and continue making our way towards Boston. All right, so after almost 6 hours here, we're coming up to our top of descent. With that, we are going to bring this MCP altitude down to, on my iPad it says, for the arrival. Now our fuel is pretty low. There is a glitch in this aircraft that the fuel doesn't work properly, like it always says your fuel's low even though it's not. But shouldn't be a problem because we should have enough fuel according to SimBrief. We're going to go down to 2,000, actually 1,700 feet it looks like. Okay, so let's bring it down to just 1,005. Let's just bring it down to 1,000 because then we're already below that. And then while we come up to it here very soon, we'll take a look at our perf page. Next phase, approach, and everything is set here too. So everything's looking good. As you can see, it says we're 11,000 pounds of fuel under, which shouldn't be right at all. I'm not sure about that. We have 13,000 pounds, which should still be enough to get to our destination, according to SimBrief and everything. So we will be starting our top of descent here very shortly, making our way down to about 1,700 feet for the ILS approach 22 left at Boston. All right, we're coming up to our top of descent here. I'm going to be hitting the switch here very, very shortly. There we go. We're going to hit it right now. And now the aircraft is starting the descent, making its way on down throughout the altitudes and different restrictions, all the way down to what we have to be for the glide slope and approach. Everything's looking good though. We'll continue our descent here from 380 and we will make our way all the way down to about 2,000 feet for that ILS approach on 22 left. So we'll continue our descent here and just make our way on down. All right, we are coming up to our 10,000 foot mark, which means we're gonna look up top here and turn our seatbelt sign on. There we go. Landing lights, wing light, and runway turnoffs on. Nose light doesn't come down until the gear is down. We get all those on up there. So that is all set, and then we're gonna be doing a vector for final for runway 22 left at Boston, which has been programmed and everything too. So we are all good to go. Our fuel is about 11,600, so our fuel is okay too. Alright, looks like we're going to be restricted by 7,000 feet for the next waypoint here, and then the plane will continue its descent again, making its way down, which it's probably going to be doing here very shortly. And there we go. Plane now descends again, and we will be making our way down. I put 1,500 as the altitude just so the aircraft can go to 1,700 perfectly fine. Everything's looking good here. We just need to... We could probably actually turn left here very shortly, yeah. We're gonna go straight from here. I think we are. If I look on the charts, let's see. Yeah, we're gonna go straight from here. I'm also gonna take control of the speed as well. We'll do an open descent here down to 3,000 feet. And we're gonna turn left here. Alright, we'll continue turning left here because we're going to be coming up to the localizer here very shortly. Alright, so we are coming up to our notch here. We're at 1,700 feet. About to get on the localizer here. We can also bring in And arm the speed brake and auto brakes to medium. Go down to 180 now. And localizer. Run to 150. All right, we'll bring our speed down to 150. Flaps 3. Gear coming down. Nose light on. Flaps full. We'll go approach mode. And everything looks set for the arrival. All right, localizer's been grabbed. We all look good. Flaps full, gear down. Speed brake armed. Everything looks good there. For the final approach, it's gonna be 122. We'll get ready here. All right, 122 on the speed. We'll see how this landing goes, okay? I got control. My aircraft. Try and maintain this. Everything is set for the arrival, so we're good to go. A little bit low. Try and maintain that glide slope.
Above.
Checked.
300. Minimum.
Continue. Touchdown. Perfect touchdown zone. Reverse is green. Decel. Nose down gently. There's like barely any reverse sounds. And auto brake off before we kind of stop. Okay. 200 feet per minute. That's actually not that bad. Welcome to Boston, everybody. Flight time 6.5 hours, and we're looking for gate C21. So we'll get off the runway here and clean up the aircraft. We'll go flaps up. Flaps are coming up. Speed brake off. Everything good up there. We're gonna turn right here and turn off some of our lights. Landing lights are already off. Wing light, runway turnoffs, strobe, and then this can go to taxi. And we'll go to our APU page. APU. And we'll start up that APU as well. So master switch on. This is on taxi. Yep, everything else is off. And we'll now make our way towards Charlie 21. All right, we'll start up the APU. Start and APU bleed. And then Charlie 21 is just to the right here. Just to the right, we have to turn and then a left here. It's on the corner over here. All right, here's our gate. We can turn the taxi light off so we don't blind the ground team, of course. And we'll line up how they want us to line up here. Can't even see the numbers. That's okay, though. I think we're pretty much lined up here. All right, parking brake set. Parking brake is set, checked. APU is running, checked on there. We'll turn off our engines. And there we have it. We'll look up top here, turn that beacon light off, and turn the seatbelt sign off. We will connect ground power, so ground, toggle GPU. There we go. Get ground power online. And then turn off that APU. Everything else looks good. We will call up ground here to deboard the aircraft, and that will be it. Well, that's going to do it, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this flight from Dublin, Ireland to Boston with the IniBuilds A330-300. As Aer Lingus, the retro livery Aer Lingus, which is so nice with the GE engines. Yeah, it was about a 6.5 hour flight, pretty good flight, nice landing, everything looked good. Departure to Dublin, the weather was crazy and the anti-ice had to be turned on for the whole climb out. But that's going to do, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed these types of long haul flights. I will be doing more in the future, so stay tuned. But like always, thank you guys very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.